So this is going to be dev commentary on my first official Minecraft map called Word Processing for version 1.20 And here's some play testers that have the original version of the map. I turn off Fulbright. For this map, I tried just doing some kind of like linear design thing. Just keep it simple because I wasn't exactly sure on how to make maps like this. I also had made some new enchants for the new Minecraft version. This one has this is a shocking enchant, which does basically AoE damage and also has the ability to reset the timer on spawners. This one was supposed to instantly spawn mobs, but it didn't. This thing said bad. I heard from some feedback from our people. This was exactly like the most interesting tool to use. It's just kind of something I made help out with the spawn themselves possibly spawn too fast. Because originally when I was playing it, the issue I had was these spawners spawning too many mobs at once, too quickly. Oh, also, this does more damage to mobs while they're in water. Yeah, a lot more damage. One of the other things I tried doing in this map was adjusting exactly how much food you have, do for healing, like saturation. Because saturation is pretty powerful actually for healing. I'm going to turn down the volume because it's really loud on my end. But this was actually this enchant on here. I'm sorry, is very powerful. Big, big area effect. I forgot to disable it, triggering on melee hits. So this makes it really easy actually. I'm more surprised no one said anything when they were testing the map. His actual melee is like 9 damage. Combined with the extra damage for being in water, it's just very powerful. Just take care of these guys real quick. Yeah, this is kind of the issue I was running into when I first played test by myself was that these spawns are spawning a little too fast and a little too many mobs for me to handle. I'm going to make sure that my actually recording. Okay, I'm still recording. But yeah, I was trying to experiment with giving less food, less good food for like healing. Because once again, the saturation is a very powerful tool for healing. Like you heal a lot and quickly from having saturation. And here should be one of these other special enchants I made. Crosser is able to shoot multiple arrows without needing to reload. But I think on this version it's broken. Yeah, it's broken for some reason. So shoot like be able to shoot two. So be able to like shoot two arrows for a reload. Like I said, very powerful enchant. Also reduce spawn time. Increase spawn time actually for monster spawners. I actually have no idea if it also works on actual block hits. I don't remember having this set to do that, but it might be the case. So this is still very powerful. Also make sure I include some also these chests around the map in certain places. So like food and more arrows. I think I have yeah. One of the ideas I had was giving like arrows of like healing and having a mix of different mobs. For example, like this, the arrows themselves would do extra damage to all the like zombies and skeletons that are undead mobs. And then if you were to accidentally hit like a regular mob with this arrow to like heal them up some, this was meant to basically deal extra damage like skeletons and zombies. It's also like a power 3, but I was told later that power 3 looked pretty powerful on the bow. So I'll keep that in mind for next time. But here is where I got the drilling enchantment for the tridents. I've posted online before a couple of videos like showcasing it. But what this does basically just breaks the spawner over a couple of seconds. I think it has the same mining speed as the stone pickaxe, and some people said it felt pretty slow, so I will have to work on that. And also it has that little like pitch down, I think, buzzing sound from bees, which also sound pretty weird. Secret chest full of goodies, tools. So for this one, this version of the engine actually would stick the actual physical trident to the monster spawner. And yet be within 10 blocks, but the detection will lag. So these sparks, it's still drilling if you see the sparks, and that means you're on kind of the edge of the range. When you get closer, it switches to the actual monster particles. Also, when you throw it into a mob, it will get stuck in there. It will get stuck into the mobs when you throw the trident into them. And this damage ignore iframes, so you can do like other things. Continue attacking. You can continue like attacking the mob, it'll still damage. Uh, this chest does have like more of the healing arrows. I didn't exactly put a lot of non like skeleton zombie mobs inside of this map. So some people might not actually get much out of it. Yeah, these are basically just be like more powerful version of these. This doesn't do like a lot of damage to the undead mobs I have in. I'll just heal real quick. And section here. I personally don't normally use like blocks when I play like CTMs, but I may sure to include them just in case. Something a lot of people do happen to do actually is they will use their torches or like spawners to reduce like the chance of the mob spawning. Like at a certain light level, this won't spawn anything. Like I said, the range is wonky on the old version of Disenchantment, the drilling one. But the range on the Trident is pretty big, honestly. Probably something should have shortened some. Originally, this room was supposed to have a lot more like on the sides, mobs coming down on you while you're in the water, but I decided not to because water combat is not that fun on Minecraft. Now I have to remember if. Oh yes, and also included some skeletons that would switch between like using a sword and using a bow, but they're kind of on a timer and it's kind of hard to notice sometimes. But they would switch on like a timer. No, here's a DL. So I had kind of to remedy also not having like a lot of good food in the map was a reusable potion that will give you like instant health for one. I think I was supposed to have like instant health two, but I decided to keep it at one. This enchant itself actually works with any potion. But it's a range on the drilling from what I remember after people playing after put up the map was that it was like not really all that useful because it was so slow to drill. It's basically it would take the exact same amount of time it took me to break that. Yes, on these skeletons are like a timer where it'll switch between rushing you down with a sword and then shooting you down with a bow. But the idea is that you would shoot the trident itself. I'll link it out way real quick. But you would shoot the tridents into like a spawner. The drilling one, you shoot drilling. Let me just get rid of this skeleton real quick. But you shoot that into a spawner, and then you would go here and like start flying another one, and it would help situations where you want to like kind of multitask, I guess. I also learned that sweep engine from all that great either. What is it? KVT the oh wait, what's that? Talk about these. Name tag, Field Guardian, so really this oversized, weak, regular Guardian. I think it's so there could come some kind of like reason. Oh yeah, like this is some kind of like secret facility that also happened to host like experiments. So failed Guardian like kind of like experiment. A Another person like the CTM Discord had mentioned something like, "Oh, here's wood," and earlier they had found some iron blocks and they went to like craft some. They went to be like they wanted to be able to craft something like iron tools or something, but I wasn't thinking of that exactly when I first made this map. I think more like linear, just keep it short and simple. So to keep that in mind for other maps. Just get rid of you. I also like the only normal creeper spawner in the map. But these are not for regular charged creepers. These are like what I wanted to call like melee creepers that would just those are like creepers that would run up to you and bite you instead of exploding. It's like to be like really unexpected for players, but it really just turned out to be kind of janky and not really doing much. So, like they would miss. They would constantly miss. I kept missing. But essentially, these are just skeletons riding. And skeletons riding creepers. The creepers have like maxed out their countdown timers maxed out, so they won't explode. But something where I noticed is like in some cases you could like miss if you're like crouching next to them. 'Cause like I said, it's a skeleton riding visible skeleton riding the creepers, and sometimes like they won't attack or they'll miss or something weird would happen. And here, this is Curse of Anti-Entropy. Probably should have like included like, explaining knowing how to work like I did the other ones, how that enchantment works. But with that enchantment, what it does is that every time you get attacked, there's a X% chance of you getting set on fire and the attacking mob getting frozen in place. Or, well, not frozen in place, but like really high slowness effect. Here's more of the here's some more of the guardians. There's a secret over here. Oh, I also had forgotten to turn off like thorns. One of the things I wanted to do was turn off thorns damage from like melee attacking the guardians. But I completely forgot to do that. Now here, a little secret. This is an old reference. City shifting water still bugs for the advice to complete dungeon a single setting to avoid instant corruption. That's a very old reference to Monumenta. With one of their the city shifting water is basically dungeon that was bugged for a while, where if you were to leave, the generation of the dungeon itself would just cause bedrock to appear, which shouldn't be, and you weren't able to complete the dungeon. And here's the final part, big pipe lava. More the, I think these are just regular skeletons to just use swords. And there's the cursor anti-entropy activating. Just regular stuff like potions. This is also a monumental reference. Fire extinguisher. Just quick fire resistance. Let's use some of this. The AoE itself on this is very powerful, but I forgot to turn off for melee hits too. Like I said, this one is like really just good enchant as a weapon. And see, I get on fire and the mob gets a slowness effect. And it's like percent base. I think it was like 10% chance per level of enchant that would get set on fire, and the mob itself would get slowness. And this area is gonna be a little bit harder to deal with. I think I put like all the actual moss spawns or moss spawns into like this one area. Yeah, this is oof. Yeah, let me just go at the creative mode too, all the way over here. Yeah, this one issue that was at the some spawners like would spawn like 3 mobs, and you'd have like 3 spawners making like 9 mobs that you gotta fight through. But yeah, I basically wanted the general itself to be like a tool to get the more harder to reach spawners. I guess the range I gave in the speed just kind of defeats the purpose. Oh, here's more of the melee creepers there. Sometimes, like I said, they would miss. Like they would either hit you or miss you. Uh, you know me, I'm personally a bit slower when I do play these things. That's not my attention. Some players was like say like this was probably like 15 minutes to complete. These are just basically invisible skeletons running with creepers. Here's a wall. And actually, since I had to keep inventory on, you could just kill yourself and then instantly go back to the start. But the actual intended way was more like there was a little maintenance entrance over here that you would go through. After you picked up the wall, you go through here, break here, and then you just go back through. So if you hadn't like missed anything, or if you didn't like break all spawners, there'd still be mobs. Any mobs alive would still be there, and go all the way back here, and place it here, and then play a little bit of music, show the message. One of the other issues I had, not until I didn't find out until I saw like someone speed run the map. They basically just place the wall itself wherever. Wait, let me try. Let me show. That's by revoking. Uh, yeah. So basically, I forgot to set the position for the ball to go to there, and basically if you just place it anywhere, it would start. It would play that little message. But yeah, that's my little like playthrough commentary on it. I'm currently working on remaking this entire map in a newer version, the next version up, and I don't know. This is like kind of my first one. Took a couple months. Had some feedback. I certainly want to revisit some like the designs and stuff. Like this right here looks like kind of vault door. This is supposed to be pressure gauges, I guess. But next video I'll have is the map that's supposed to come after this one, which I did not finish, but I'm supposed to be remaking also. Thanks for watching.